brought to you by Jumpin' the Channel, a skateboard documentary now playing at dhshredder.com. Yeah, it took me about 8 years to get into this position. August of 2006, my girlfriend runs off with some other dude. I'm driving big rigs for mobile broadcast television, all over the 13 western states and sometimes Chicago. We did a lot of work for Friday night fights in Las Vegas. In fact, this is right on the Las Vegas Strip. We did baseball, soccer, and the Pac-10 for the Western Athletic Conference, broadcasting college basketball. I was about 2 years in working for these guys who did strictly college sports. Fox Sports West, ESPN, Telemundo, and Azteca. We were working alongside high-end producers from ABC, all the sports networks, alongside law enforcement. We all had good rapport. You had to be a top professional. Keep your nose clean, no trouble, or you were not going to advance in this business. Part of my job as being a skilled professional mobile television driver was being able to handle the vehicle on ice, in snow, through tornadoes, and be able to put those tire chains on as quickly as possible and keep yourself rolling to your destination in a safe and timely fashion. In August of 2006, I had just got a job offer to go on a 3-month tour and move up the ladder, perhaps drive for one of the major broadcast television networks. I couldn't wait. So I went out and bought a GMC Sierra 1500 pickup truck. It was a job promotion you'd dream about. I knew where I was going to go with this. I was going to go with this tour, and then I was going to go on the next tour, and I was going to move up the ladder, and I was going to be in a beautiful broadcast mobile television bubble where you would go to work, go to sleep, go to work, go to sleep, bank all your money for your retirement and pension fund. So on the date of October 2nd, 2006, I drove from Palm Springs all the way to the city of Los Alamitos, where I had a little place and some roommates. When I was in town, that's where I'd lay my head and sleep. Get my mail there, have my things there, and that's where I lived. I was meeting my roommates there to go to the Fish Company restaurant and seafood market on Los Alamitos Boulevard there, the corner of Catella. So I pull up to my house on the corner of Kempton and Pine. Oh, there's my truck. And I realize I don't have my keys to get in. So I have to call my roommate. She's about 10 minutes away. So I say, okay, see you in 10. Can't wait to see ya. She's going to bring her 9-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, her mom, and we're going to go to dinner and have a nice dinner before I have to get on the road to my 3-month tour that I'm supposed to go on. So I'm sitting there looking at my stereo, listening to some music, just enjoying everything, waiting for them, and I look in my rearview mirror. Kapow! Shazam! Flablooey! Oh, and here comes some backup. I'm thinking to myself, hey, no problem. I'm clean as a whistle. I don't do drugs. I got a Class A license. I got to get to work tonight. I got to make this tour. I'm sitting in a new truck. I'm not driving. I'm in front of my house. I'm safe. I'm going to go to dinner. I'm going to have a nice fish dinner. I'm going to make it on this 3-month tour for my life, for my career, for my pension, my retirement, and to take care of family. So the officer approaches my vehicle and he asks, can I see your ID? I said, sure, no problem. He tells me he's going to go run a make on my ID. I say, fine, I'm clean. Great. I have no wants, no warrants. I'm not a drug user. I don't do drugs. I'm clean as a whistle. No problems. He comes back and says, sir, can you step out of your car? I said, sure. Step out of the car. We go back to the back side of my truck. He lowers the tailgate and asks me to sit down, and he starts talking to me. And he starts painting a picture, a gaslighting picture of his reality And he forces his reality into my reality and tells me that he thinks I'm on drugs. At this moment, my life flashes before my eyes. I know I'm not going to make this 3-month tour. And my heart starts to race. And I start to get really agitated, as one could imagine. The officer says he'd like to look at my arms. I said, sure. So he's looking up and down my arms. Then he grabs my arms and he starts taking my pulse. So now we've got a Los Alamitos police officer taking my pulse, pretending he's an EMT, nurse, or a doctor out in the field. So he's taking my pulse and he says, your pulse is just way too high. I am going to have to arrest you. I think you're on drugs. I go, well, what kind of drugs do you think I'm on? He says, I think you're on crystal methamphetamine or maybe high doses of THC. So now I'm thinking to myself, good Lord, my civil rights are being violated. I don't have any way out of this. I'm going to lose this 3-month tour. I'm going to lose about $15,000 and I'm going to go to jail. What happens? He goes, sir, I'm going to have to arrest you. Put your hands behind your back. Just as he's arresting me, my roommate shows up with her 2 9-year-old twins. They're in shock. She starts telling the officer, hey, no, he lives here. He's okay. He's not the guys you're looking for. So I had her call my boss to tell him I'm not going to make the tour. I'm being arrested. She said, what for? The cop said, controlled substance. The officer said, they're going to do a blood draw. And that if I agreed to this blood draw, they wouldn't impound my vehicle and accuse me of a DUI, additional compounded charges. I'm sitting out in front of my house in a brand new truck on top of the world. They take me to the Los Alamitos Medical Center where they perform a forced blood draw that I agreed to keep my truck from being impounded and having additional charges. So this was all under duress. From the hospital, we go to the police department where they give me a breathalyzer and then fill out a few forms, do a couple tests, and then we go down to the Seal Beach Police Department where I have to be booked, processed, and fingerprinted. Now, this encounter started at about 5:15 in the afternoon and went on and on and on till about 11:30 at night. Because I had cooperated so well with the forced blood draw, they released me on the same day. Before I was released from the magical doors of freedom, they said, hey, don't forget your ticket. Well, so let's have a closer look, shall we? So, zoomed in on the ticket at the top, you can see there in the right-hand corner the case number. And to the left, you can see the date, the time, there's my name, and there's my address on Pine Street in Los Alamitos. So, let's take a look at the bottom, and there we are at the bottom. Oh, hey, wait a minute. The location of the violation is at my house on Pine Street in a brand new truck at my house, minding my own business, waiting for my roommates so we can go eat at the fish factory. Oh, but wait, there's more. At the top, they wrote under the influence of a controlled substance with no evidence in the first place. While I was in front of my house. I had to wait till November 15th for my court date. I went down to the courthouse, got there around 8:30, waited till about 10 o'clock before I got to the roster to see that I wasn't on the list. My name wasn't on the court roster. So now I had to wait in another line and talk to the lady behind the glass window and say, what do I do? My name's not on the roster. I need to move on. She said, stamp the back of the ticket, and they stamped the back of the ticket. proving that I showed up. I later called that day the district attorney's office and got someone on the phone. I said, listen, you guys wrongfully arrested me, falsely accused me of a fake crime that the officer invented, and I can't even see the judge. The lady said, there's a lack of evidence. I said, yes, I know. I told you that before I got arrested. My forced blood draw signed under duress to keep my car from being impounded came back negative. I never heard anything back from the West Justice Center in the city of Westminster. The DA never got back to me. I carried this ticket in my wallet for 5 years. I didn't work much the rest of 2006. I lost $15,000 by not being able to go on that tour. My job opportunity was gone. I became completely disenchanted. Huge damages. Let's just say you couldn't unring the bell. I lost contributions to both my pension and my retirement and any future fantastic benefits that I'll never know about. In 2007, going forward, it was a struggle. There was more problems. I ended up having to give back the GMC. I called them back and said, the keys are in it, come pick it up. I packed my bags and moved out of Los Alamitos and never returned. All my roommates packed their bags and moved out too. They got the hell out. This past June of 2019, I was offered a really good job, which involved a security clearance. I didn't get that security clearance. I'm wondering if this fake rigged arrest is still causing me problems 13 years later. I wonder what kind of reparations I'm entitled to. And who's liable? The state of California, Orange County, Los Alamitos. My father passed away in April of 2015. My father was a certified welder for the city of Los Angeles. Before he died, he said, don't let them get away with this. My stepfather, he put me through trucking school so I could get my Class A license. He was a union man, a GM supervisor. Before he died, he said, don't let these guys get away with this. I don't know why the officer thought I was an abuser. He did say that, was it Officer Roby? He did say that all Class A drivers are substance abusers. That's what he said to me. Officer Roby, this is nothing but a ding-dang good old-fashioned civil rights violation. Good job, boys! Ha! I was guilty until proven innocent.